Welcome you my lecture series of C programming. In that we are going to see about in today's class is a pseudocode. In the last class, in the previous video, I explained that what is the problem solving technique. The problem solving techniques are used to solve the problem and used to represent the logic of the problems clearly to the end user before going to implement or coding the given problem. So the pseudocode is one of the problem solving technique. So the pseudocode is nothing but it is a combination of an algorithm and also the programming language. It is an intermediate between that algorithm and programming language. So the pseudocode consists of a short and readable and formally styled programming language. It is a English language used for an explain an algorithm. So it is not a programming language. It is an English language used to represent the given problem logic. So it does not include details like a variable declaration, subroutine and function, all the things in detailed like a programming language description, but it is intermediate between that algorithm and the programming language. So it is a combination of both the things. It is easier because it is easier to understand for the programmer or non-programmer clearly the logic of the program. So it is not a machine readable. The pseudocode cannot be compiled and executed. So we don't have any standard syntax for to represent the pseudocode. So the pseudocode, we have that guidelines for writing the pseudocode. First we write one statement per line, and also we have to capitalize the initial keyword and end multi-line structure, and keep the statements language independent. These are all the guidelines we have to follow. And the common keywords used in the pseudocodes are first we start with the begin and end with an end. These keywords are used to start and finish the pseudocode. So begin is the first line and end is the last line of the given programming logic. Next is an accept. For we are going to in the keyword is used to obtain a input from a user. We are using that accept statement, and also using the display statement that you are going to present the result of an output. We are using that display. So the accept and display is used for a input and output. Begin and end is used for the start and end process. Next, for the decision making, we are using a if, else and end if. So these keywords are used in the decision making. And for the command line, we are using the double slash. So the command line is mainly used in that to represent what is the program in the beginning of the pseudocode. We have to represent so what is the name of the program and what is the input symbols we are going to represent that thing. We can represent in the command line using the two backslash. Next thing is, suppose you have a looping statement like do, while, for, repeat, until. These are all the keywords are used for the representation of the loop. So this is the main keywords are used to represent the pseudocode. First again we have see that sum of two numbers. In the sum of two numbers already we know that how to write an algorithm and how to draw the flow chart. Here we are going to represent the pseudocode for the sum of two numbers. So begin, that is the start of the process. Next, using that get or accept, we can get the input of two numbers of a comma b. So get a comma b. And third statement is we are going to do then addition. So using the keyword add, we are represents the addition statement. Then add c is equal to a plus b. That is that addition statement. Next is we are going to print the result using the c. So print c, that is a representation is displaying the output to the console window. And finally we are going to use the end statement. So here the begin and end is used for start and end process, and get and print is used for printing that input and output symbols. And the process symbols we are using that here the process is the addition of two numbers. So that is used to represent the keyword like add c is equal to a plus b. So this is the representation of sum of two numbers. Next is that next representation is that we are going to represent that next example is that we are going to represent how to So the biggest of two numbers here we are going to explain. So the biggest of two numbers means what is the logic? We are going to get the two numbers and check whether the first number is greatest to the second number. So if it is greater means print A is first number and else print the second number is greater. So this is the representation of representing the greatest of two numbers. So first we have the begin and end, that is a start and stop, and next we are going to read the two numbers a comma b and check the using the if keyword we are going to check if a is greater than b, then print a is large, else print b is large. So here the keyword if, then, else are for the representation of the decision making, and finally we are going to stop the process. So this is the way we can represent that pseudocode representation of greatest of two numbers. I hope you understand what is the pseudocode and what are all the main keywords are used to represent the pseudocode with the two example. So finally I remind that it is not a programming language, so anyone can represent the logic of the program clearly. So before the programming language, pseudocode is the representation, means it can clearly understand by the your programmer or the end user clearly the logic of the program. Thank you.